the cloud and we are recording, so I'll let you take over.
Hello, hello, hello. This is Claudia from Trendy Latina, and we're here with one more edition of our Trendy Talk Spring Topics. Today, I'm really excited because I have a dear friend, Donna Baines from Baines Consulting, and she actually helps families and students to have success in the journey to college. But I'm going to let her talk about herself. I just wanted to thank Donna before we start for helping us with the new episode of our Trendy Talk Spring Trends.
Thanks, Claudia. I'm excited to be here. A little bit more about me and what I do. As you said, my name is Donna Baines, and I'm the founder of Baines College Consulting. I started my business in 2014. After about 12 years of corporate admissions and financial aid experience. So I have about 21 years of experience now in this field. I got started as a work-study student at Boise State University when I was attending as an undergrad. And 21 years ago, college admissions was really different. At that time, students that wanted to apply to college, they typically applied to one school. And today we've got students applying to 20 and 30 schools. So it's been an interesting evolution of my career and technology to see how far we've come. And we're at a place where it's never been easier to apply for college, but it's never been harder to get in. So over the past 21 years, I've had a chance to work in a traditional D1 university, worked with trade schools, nursing programs, and even an online education platform. So I have a lot of background in admissions and financial aid. And one of my really important roles that I had before going independent was as a director, hiring, training, and developing admissions people on policies and procedures. And the way we've had to integrate technology has been fascinating. And I'm so excited to talk about the topic of Chat GPT and artificial intelligence today. But what I do currently as an independent consultant is I work with families, on average 25 to 30 families a year, navigating college admissions and financial aid. I'm also partnering with 5 local schools where I do college and career planning curriculum. And I'm writing 2 books. So
wow.
I'm all over the place. And
I love it.
somehow I managed to also drop my kids off and pick them up from school every day. So that's a little bit about me and who I am.
That's great. Well, I wanted to start with the topic because I'm personally not well versed in the topic of Chat GPT and wanted to confess that. So let's start with explaining what Chat GPT is, and so people can understand, and that will we'll have a little bit more in depth about.
Yeah, so as an educator, sometimes I find it easier and better to demonstrate what something is as opposed to just tell you. So I'm going to do my best to explain this really complicated idea and service. Chat GPT is an artificial intelligence language model, and it is driven by data. So GPT actually stands for generative pre-trained transformer. So
Wow.
highly technical. Essentially, Chat GPT was developed to be like a virtual assistant, maybe some people would call it. And so do you mind if I just show you what Chat GPT?
No, that'd be great. I would love to see it.
So I'm going to share my screen, and if I go into the website is openai.com. So I really would like to encourage people to get out there and test this out and experiment with it, because the best way to understand and learn anything is to just jump right in. And so Chat GPT, developed by OpenAI, is a conversational language model built on data. So when I came in here, I actually asked Chat GPT to tell me or answer the question, what is it? And it gave me this 3-paragraph answer, which is very, complicated. And if you don't understand all the technological terms, it just was too long. So then I asked, can you simplify that explanation? And it said, sure. Chat GPT is a computer program developed by OpenAI that can generate human-like text in response to a given prompt. So it's used in a lot of different ways, but it is I think, the beginning of a revolution of technology in education and business. And we can't even totally wrap our minds around what it's going to be capable of doing in terms of adding efficiency to our businesses. So it's something I am not afraid of, and I don't think anybody should be afraid of, but it is a hot topic everywhere.
Yeah, and as a tech lover, you've inspired me to go check it out.
Good.
So let's talk a little bit about how does the Chat GPT and AI play a role in the college process and college admissions?
Wow. So there are 2 ways that we see artificial intelligence playing a part in college admissions. First is on the applicant side. So as a student applying for college, let's say you're going and you're visiting a website. So if I'm going to demonstrate again, let me share my screen. Let's say we get online and we want to go check out Clemson University. As a student, when you come on this page, you're going to see in the corner questions, ask Tiger Cub. This is an example of a chat bot like Chat GPT. It's been programmed to answer questions and have conversations with prospective students. And it's got a lot of data in there to really be able to automate some of that process. So that's one example of how colleges might be using Chat GPT. Another example is at the Wharton School of Business. I recently heard a podcast by one of the professors of entrepreneurship. His name's Adam Grant. He puts together this amazing podcast called Rethinking. I don't know if you've heard of it.
No,
But
no, I
anyway,
haven't.
Adam is a professor, and one of his colleagues, Ethan Mullick is, I think, how you pronounce his name. They teach entrepreneurship at Wharton, and they did this wonderful podcast about how Chat GPT is being used. And, it's a really polarizing topic. We've got some professors who are all for it. They're friendly to it. They're welcoming it. And then you have others who are apprehensive, and they think that this may be a way for students to cheat in their work. And, that's entirely possible. However, I think that it depends on, your intention with using this technology, whether or not you're trying to gain some kind of unfair advantage, or if you're using it to help improve your work. And, it's being developed by college students. They're experimenting with it. Using this technology is being taught now in entrepreneurship. So that's how it's being applied on the applicant or the student side of college. In terms of admissions, I don't know how far down the rabbit hole you want to go with artificial intelligence. It's getting a little scary.
I have a special question just to add to it. When my son was in the process of, applying for colleges, all the college applications, as you know, have an essay, right?
Yes.
So my question, it has to do with our previous question. Are students using that to cheat on college essays?
So they've tried.
Okay.
But colleges are getting really good at staying in front of that with the technology by developing software that can detect plagiarism and the use of a chatbot to create an essay. However, that doesn't stop students from trying. The other way that Chat GPT or artificial intelligence is being used in the admissions decisions is there's a new company in Canada offering a technology to colleges where a student uploads a video. So it's a video interview for admissions, and the artificial intelligence is actually measuring the student's personality traits and character qualities using artificial intelligence. It's good, it's advanced enough that it's even looking at your pupils and the dilation of your pupils to score a student on areas of like motivation and openness and agreeability and even neuroticism. So
Wow.
it's getting scary sometimes.
Scary, right?
But you know, I think having an attitude of that this is a positive thing. I'm a technology optimist, and I can see how it can be used for good. And so we're training students how to interview and how to be aware of how artificial intelligence is being used, even in the evaluation of applications. Many times the first read of a college application is being done by an AI before it gets to a human. Ultimately, though, college admissions decisions are still being made by humans.
Okay. Well, that's all very interesting. I can't believe all these details and, how advanced technology is in regards to college admission. I'm loving it. I'm a tech lover as well. So
Yeah.
let's move on to the part of helping parents, right? Because I know that's what you do, day in and day out. That's your full-time job. So do you have any tips to help parents navigate this? And how do you specifically help your clients in regards to this topic?
So I feel like I can speak about this from the parent perspective because I am the parent of a teenager. And I'm also the parent of young children. And what I'm finding is that technology is just advancing so rapidly. And that as a parent, it's important that we try to keep up because the only way we can properly guide and advise our children or our students is if we know what they're engaging with and how they're interacting with technology, people, or businesses online. For a lot of reasons. I mean, part of it is safety, but a big part of it is also about creating opportunity for kids and students that want to go to college or want to start a career. So in navigating career and college planning, whether you're using technology, you still need a human touch somewhere because the young people have all kinds of access to technology. They already have apps on their phones that teach them how to cheat on their homework. They have apps to help hide things. They can use an app for everything. They can literally take a picture of a homework question and get the answer already. So, trying to avoid the cheating thing is going to be really hard for a lot of us. But how we can leverage this technology to really position kids for success. And so the first thing is like, we just can't be afraid of it. We have to understand it's out there, understand it's being used by other people. And with this advancement, it's again, creating competition. And if you're not a tech guru, that's okay, because really where students stand out in the application process is in their people skills and being able to translate who they are as a person through their writing, their activities, their passions, their hobbies, and even through their relationships with teachers who will write letters of recommendation. We don't need kids to focus on being tech savvy all the time. We do need to let young people be young people and let them pursue their passions. And then we will use the technology to help optimize an application by feeding it data and telling it about the student. And you've got to know what you're doing, and you've got to know how to prompt this technology. And that comes through conversational skills, because this is a conversational model. So the ability to ask questions and give directions are going to be critical. Now, I do want to show you one other kind of cool thing that Chat GPT was able to do, if I can, let me share my screen one more time. In here, I asked Chat GPT, because we're speaking of prompting it and how to get the most out of technology. I asked Chat GPT, or I instructed it to write a 600-word college admissions essay in first person about moving around a lot as a kid and how that shaped my character and will make me a successful college student. And it did. It wrote a wonderful 600-page essay. Because I have written a lot of essays, I've read a lot, and I help families with the construction of essays, I know that this particular piece lacks a lot, and I can see where it falls short and where we still need humans. And because in reality, if you read this essay, although some of the lines are really moving and convincing, persuasive even, it's so generic that it could have been written by anybody that had a past like this. And really the idea and the purpose of a admissions essay is to tell the admissions people who you are. And my job as a consultant is to get to know students and families so that I can help them translate that into a story or an essay that is written in the student's own voice and in their own style, because that's part of that feeling that you're trying to transfer to the admissions department.
And so that they convey what's truly unique about them, right? Because
right.
having a high GPA, and I'll tell you again about my son's, experience. He had a 3.7 GPA, but when I was actually coaching him about the essay part of it, I told him as an ESL teacher that he needed to make sure his personality and his passions and who he really was would shine through, because a lot of people had the same GPA. So what made him a special, unique candidate for the program? And he actually got accepted to 15 different, Ivy League schools. So I think my suggestion actually helped him on in the right direction.
Absolutely. Storytelling is the most powerful technique for essay writing. And because the reality is that the person reading your essay is a human being that is not necessarily evaluating your writing or your grammar, or making sure that you cited your sources. They're looking for a way to relate, right? And that's something that artificial intelligence can't do yet. It cannot relate to humans. It cannot make personal human connections. And that's really why I feel comfortable still with this technology, because humans are still making the decisions and humans are reading these essays. So we're still needed, Chat GPT and AI, they do improve efficiency. I'll show you one more really cool thing if I have time.
Sure, yes, you do. Absolutely.
This is one way that I use artificial intelligence for my business. So I like to spend my time working with families and working on applications. I don't like to spend my time doing the business side of my business, right? Marketing, branding, that kind of stuff. Well, that's where Chat GPT and AI come in to help. I recognized that as my business is growing, that I need to work on marketing. And so about a year ago, I went and had some photos taken and started to design a blog and put together some stuff. And it just wasn't working out the way I liked. And I was getting writer's block and I was getting stumped. So I asked Chat GPT to help me mind map and develop my blog series. And it came up with some really great ideas. And if I can move this thing here, there we go. That is how I came up with the topics for my blog series. And I even employed Chat GPT to write some of the content. And what I found is that it wasn't perfect. In fact, it lacked a lot, but it was a great sort of foundation for creating a blog that I was able to build on and interject my professional and personal experience so that it wouldn't be some generic piece of writing. So that's one great way that businesses can use Chat GPT. And then here's my favorite secret that I haven't told anybody, but I'm about to tell you.
Yay!
These photos right here, these that I had done for the blog image, are actually created by artificial intelligence.
Wow.
I did not go to any of those photo shoots. I have never worn any of those outfits. There is an online program called tryitonai.com where you can upload selfies and it will convert your selfies, like the examples here, into professional headshots.
Wow, this is awesome. I love it.
Yeah, so those are just some of the fun and exciting ways that you can leverage artificial intelligence and Chat GPT to grow your business. I would prefer to spend my time working with students, helping them navigate admissions and financial aid, but I can let my virtual assistant in Chat GPT work on creating blogs and content and images that are going to drive whatever that marketing stuff is, because that's not my area of expertise.
I love it. And knowing where your strengths are and what you're good at, and then delegating or allocating resources to help you with everything else. That's how I live. So I love it. I cannot wait to check out all these resources that you've shared, but I've never heard of them. So this is awesome.
It's really fun, and we're looking for ways to help students do the same thing, like optimize a resume by having artificial intelligence evaluate the resume and maybe make sure that we're using keywords and things that match. They already do that in recruiting for human resources. They've already using keywords and things like that on resumes. So optimizing college applications and activities resumes so that we help them find ways to stand out, but it's gonna always be human driven.
Love it. Love it. So do you have any final thoughts and a little bit more of advice?
I guess work on your people skills. That's my advice to students and people everywhere, because the future's here and artificial intelligence is really getting impressive in their ability. The more we use it, the more it learns. And I think that we just cannot be afraid to start using these technologies. There's a lot of free websites out there. I showed a couple today to help you get started. I truly believe in having an equal access to higher education and career opportunities. So these free resources are really great for people to start learning the technology, even if you're teaching yourself just through experimentation. Get on there, have a conversation with Chat GPT for free. Ask it anything. It doesn't judge you. It doesn't get insulted. It's data driven, and sometimes it's wrong. And if you verify it's wrong, it'll even admit and apologize for being wrong. And
Wow.
yeah, so my last piece of advice would just be, people skills, use your manners, say please and thank you to the robot, because maybe one day, maybe one day they will be sentient and we want them to be nice to us.
Yeah, you never know. You never know. Well, Donna, thank you so much for the wealth of all this information. I know after all that you've shared that parents and students are going to want to find you. So would you mind ending our conversation by letting people know your website and how can parents find you?
So go to bainescollegeconsulting.com or collegehelp.me, and you can find all about what we do. There's even some free resources on the website, like a free resume template for high school students. There is a chat text box on my page, but it is not a bot. If you chat, it's going to come to me and I'll be chatting with you directly. So feel free to use that, or book a free Zoom session right on the page. So just hit book now. Every first session is free, and just come get some advice and guidance on, your future college and career plans.
Well, thank you so much, Dana. Thank you for being here with us. We are going to post all your information as well in the article and also in our social. Thank you so much. I hope you all enjoyed our Trendy Talk Spring segment on tech, Chat GPT, and AI. I hope you've enjoyed as much as I did with the conversation with Donna. And this is Claudia from Trendy Latina with the Trendy Talk Chat series in the spring. Until next time in our next segment.